Why Hamlet is still alive and mad in 2017. The symbol of Western culture decay. I will come to the point from the beginning thanks to one of the last scenes of the celebrated tragedy when in more laconic and even more tame Hamlet, still fully capable of bouncing back his opponents, the mother, the two fellows, the king, by metaphorical words and sometimes rhetorical speeches, but never ready to grasp the blade for real, meets the tender Prince Fortinbras and his army going to their graves like beds. 4.4. Here we got the climax of the play. Here stars my thesis. Neither the blazing words of his ghost father nor the blasting sight of a distempered and guilty Claudius abandoning the dumb show undo Hamlet's reason and mind chains. It is not the St. Thomas in skepticism of Horatio who cannot believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. 1.1.57-58. Hamlet does not need to believe, he feels the truth. His smartness and philosophical nature have somehow sniffed the murder since the very start. But regardless of that, or we would say it is for this very reason, he got stuck in his black solemnity and downcast eyes in which he can only keep his real feelings and grief inside. See 1.2.85-86. Clashing not with common sense to an hyper-logical person such Hamlet is, he clearly cannot act without any evidence by following his instinct or in accordance with a swear to a ghost that may be a devil eager for damning him. See 2.2.602-606. Once his play arranged for Claudius proved his suspects, he may act, he should act, but he does not. He certainly remembers thy commandment all alone shall live. 1.5.102, Revenge. However, the bitter truth seems to already poison Hamlet's will and prime determination. In spite his blood burns and his tongue becomes sharper and sharper page by page. See the pipe scene in 3.2.347-374, when he got his first big chance to kill the king he waits that up, he reckons how much grossly would be that, to the end he chooses to delay and attend a better and damned moment. 3.3.89-95. What about Gertrude? The same blood runs in her veins. Hamlet, as the ghost suggested before vanishing, would leave her to God's judgment without any harm. He harbors a great affection for his mother, she has been whored by Claudius, he really needs more time to think about her, to find the right talk, to be cruel not unnatural. That is why he will come by, and by March 2nd, 87. The author makes this delicate matter even dicey, placing the wise snake Polonius behind the arras and casually driving crazy and Hamlet very tense and barely not paranoid. The state secretary's death looks like a twist for the spectator/reader, but for me that is a great trick to direct first the rhythm and colors of the conversation between mother and son, and secondly, to slip and influence the entire drama by far. For writers nothing is random, and the bloody deed of Hamlet has great merit, we would say it is almost necessary, in bringing out the real nature of all the characters in there involved, first of all the doubtful of Hamlet, then the frightened of Gertrude and Claudius, and those different directions, the Christian sense of guilt and heaven's judgment for the queen, the cowardly fear to die for the king, the fragile in Ophelia, the faithful and moral in the fresh Laertes. The right talk could not find better place on the table than Polonius's death. The red of blood is in every single inch of Hamlet's body. It no needs more fire to have Hamlet blowing one of his epicest and most pointed discourse. These words like daggers enter in mine ears. March 4th, 96, says, the mother, and it is indeed, she will keep in heart those until the fatal cup, when extremely worried for the circumstances she goes against Claudius's words. Hamlet does not need the newly ghost advises to stop his sword, he is tame in mother's lap, as much weak as to give her instructions on what to do, and even reveal his real intentions and next steps. With this scene and its end we truly can see how Hamlet is faithful to himself and loves parents by unconditionally trust. When you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you, he concludes. 3.4.171-172. And there we have it, the most important scene, in my opinion, the one able to drag down Hamlet from his painful and thorny seat and eventually make him acting. The prince knows what has to be done, he knows the king's plot. I see a cherub that sees them April 3rd, 47, but what does he do before sailing? What is his immediate reaction in front an imminent battle? He is too such astonished by the misfortune around him that he stands like a stone surrendered by his thoughts. He seems to be the same person who asks repeatedly at Horatio in the very beginning of the play, armed from top to toe, pale, or red. 1.2.227-233, he did not move 1 inch forward and he definitely knows that 4.4.42-46. The heart of the matter in my opinion is not the fear, nor the cowardice to it related as Hamlet confesses to himself, but rather is how come firstly all these terrible events could occur rapidly to him, and secondly how can he try to fix and settle his revenge in order to satisfy the dead father, appease the situation and most deeply relieve his soul from. In this regard I must point out that Shakespeare masterfully breaks Hamlet's last wall thanks to this unaccepted scene, the march of Fortinbras with his army, and especially the last unforgettable verses, "Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth." 4.4.65-66. After that Hamlet is ready to change and to go to war because it is as clear as sunlight that the only way to put an end on the matter is justly war. Hamlet vs all, friends, family, love, destiny, or bad luck. As those soldiers are going to die, he, Prince of Denmark, since has killed Polonius, no clocks could turn back, no regrets his stomach must sit, he is going to wittingly fight too. Hamlet embraces his uncertain destiny of sorrow with unbelievably awareness, there's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will. 5.2.10-11, and strength by dominating a fit Laird's in fence. The accidental way how he finally gets his revenge and dies appears to be the only solution possible to him. Could in fact Hamlet be satisfied by Laird's death? Could be he happy to survive to his beloved mother? Could he survive to Ophelia's death, whom his actions were the main cause? Could he even think to lead his country as king by living desperate with loneliness? No, no at all. For me the modernity of Hamlet's character lies in his fall and death. He was doomed to suffer because his existence after father's murder is irredeemably compromised. He looks unfit to live and his youth appears to be just a memory gone forever. And here lies my thesis as well. The meaning of his fall can truly be compared and related to our reality and Western culture state. Consumerism and world wars have created a universe full of Hamlets as never before by wrecking down institutions such important as family. To be more precise, an infinitive atomic smallness particle of all its fully bodies characters is nowadays the indifferent word where we live. Once gone our Christian ethics millenary cradle of civilization, without its beauty, with no social links in which we might believe, entrust, take as good and bad example, and pass on from one generation to another. Once our history and past has been spun and scattered by technology or as murdered and in search for someone who can pay back, no future is open to our culture except for Hamletic existences dully ready to deliver the torch of leader to any tender Fortinbras fooling around. Off topic, bio introduction. Believe or Not, Hamlet by William Shakespeare, Wordsworth Editions, Chatham, Kent, 1966, is my first English book I have read, and wrote these thoughts a couple of days right after finishing it, and I found Hamlet's witty and shooting replies and answers wonderful. He exactly as he replies to Horatio after Ghost Revelations. I have an intermediate level in English language as I have learned all I know by conversations and by an Italian short grammar book a year ago. I am 28 old currently and I gave myself 3, linked by themselves, explanations of how was possible reading and understanding almost the whole drama, except for some small parts such as monologues or rhetoric speeches, as I checked my good comprehension few days ago by sparknotes.com. William Shakespeare could be Italian. Old literary English language was really close to literary Italian language since these two languages share the same Latin roots. My wide passion for Greek culture, classical Italian literature books, my master degree in history with all the refs made me able to get the main meaning of most of the verses and speeches. It may sound odd or presumptuous, but Hamlet character nails very much my persona and my attitude to life as well.